Hey guys, my name is Rob Noire, and welcome to another one of these kind of different videos where I'm stepping outside of my comfort zone, doing something new. So last week I put out this video over here called Nintendo Switch Unboxing and Review, Late Adopters, Is It Worth It? And that was another video where I was really doing something different, trying a new format kind of, and the video did pretty well comparatively to my other stuff. And this video actually led to a conversation that I had with a bunch of different friends and other people on what I actually consider to be the good Switch games that you can get. Because one of the things I really nagged on at the end of my review was saying I just didn't feel there were a lot of good single-player games or a lot of good games in general for the Switch. And I still stand by that. I still feel like that's the biggest issue, the biggest hurdle with the Switch at this point anyways. But a lot of people were asking me, hey man, so what are the good games? If I get this, what should I get? What should I be looking forward to? And I'm like, all right, why don't I do a video on it? It's easy, it's fun, and who knows, maybe you'll find some cool games out of it. So first things first, what is the best game that you can get on the Switch? This thing right here. What is the game that I literally have loaded in this right now? What game is it? Well, it's probably no surprise, Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild. So that is, honestly, if you have a Switch, you're gonna get Breath of the Wild. It's probably the best game on the Switch still to this day. I mean, it's solid. It's a good game. It's a good Zelda game. It's just fun. It really is. Even if you're not a big fan of Zelda, if you like open world game adventures, get it. I've actually been playing a lot of it on my Switch recently. I was doing a full playthrough of The Legend of Zelda on the Wii U, and when I got a Switch, I realized, okay, I gotta do it on the Switch. And I gotta admit, another one of the things that I harped on about was how I didn't like how the joysticks felt, and I didn't feel they're super responsive. In The Legend of Zelda, in this game, it feels perfect. It's like they designed that game with the Switch in mind. So if that's one of your concerns, don't worry. You're not going to have a problem with Zelda. It's just an awesome game. It's just fun. It's huge. You're going to have a good time with it. So another one of the very good games that you can get on the Switch, or will be able to soon, is going to be Super Mario Odyssey. Now you might be, wait, how do you know it's good? It's not out yet. It's gonna be good, okay? It's a first-party Mario game by Nintendo, 3D. It's gonna be good. You know it's gonna be good. The thing I actually like about it is it reminds me of Mario 64. I feel like after they put out 64, they did something similar with Sunshine, and then they did all completely different stuff, and I feel a little bit like they're returning to their roots, but really expanding on it and giving us something better than it ever could have been. And that's probably what gets me the most excited about Mario Odyssey. It's not out when this video goes up, but it's out like next week, so the moment it's out, if you have a Switch, run and go get it. You're not going to regret it, I promise. And then one of the other really good games on the Switch that I'd have to recommend would be Splatoon 2. You can see I own it. Believe it or not, I haven't played this one. So how do I know it's one of the really good ones? Well, I played the original. Apparently this one is even better. I have a bunch of friends who have played it. They say it's even better. There's still a few issues with the game, but there were issues that were there in the first one. So I can promise you, this thing's fucking good. If you don't know what it is, it's like a first-person shooter, except you shoot ink and you're squids. It's about kind of like taking over territory, and it's really about the multiplayer, like so much of what's on the Switch, but it is just a fucking solid game. Like, you're gonna have a good time with this. And another game that I'd have to recommend on the Switch would be Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Another one, I haven't played it, I don't own it, but I've heard really, really good things, and it looks very interesting. You have to be kind of into the turn-based sort of combat thing, so if you kind of like, I guess sort of Final Fantasy like the older ones, but not, well, just look at the game. I mean, you'll figure out what it's about. If you don't like the Rabbids, maybe it's not for you, but I'm personally not a big fan of the Rabbids, but I still feel like I would like this game. It looks awesome. Like, the graphics in this game are like some of the best fucking graphics in a Nintendo game ever. Like, I got to admit, I'll say that Mario, Luigi, Peach, they look slightly weird, slightly off. Maybe that's because it was Ubisoft animating them. I don't know. But other than that, it's a beautiful game. It's supposed to be fun as fuck. I'd recommend it. Then, of course, there's a bunch of other really good games that I wouldn't consider the top tier, but are still shit tons of fun. The first one I would have to mention would be Snipperclips. Now, if you're wondering what Snipperclips is, it is a multiplayer experience. I don't even know if they have single player. They might not, but you're these two characters, and you can basically cut shapes out of each other and do all this stuff. And it's all about like puzzle solving, and it's just, I have played a little bit of this one. and it's just a fun game. Watch a playthrough of like the first level if you're wondering, but the art style is amazing. It's a really fun game, and it's not like a crazy expensive one. And next month they're releasing like the, I don't know what you call it, the deluxe edition or whatever. I'll have the specific name right there, but they're releasing that so you can get even more content for still less than almost any of the other full box games that I'm going to have on this list. It's just fun. You should get it. The next game that I'll say is a lot of fun that you should get would be Puyo Puyo Tetris. Now, it's another game. It's much better multiplayer than it is single player. That's one of my problems with the Switch. But it's one of the most fun versions of like Tetris Versus that I've ever played. I don't know if it's the best, but it's a really good one, and playing it mobile is always going to be a big plus. And you get to play Puyo, which is surprisingly difficult and a lot of fun. There's not a shit ton of depth to this game, but it is really fun, and it's another one that's like Snipper Clips. It's not as expensive as a full game, and it's definitely worth your time. It's just a fun one. Now, another one that I haven't played but is highly recommended by a bunch of my friends would be Golf Story. You can download it on the Nintendo Switch. Apparently, you play as an aspiring professional golfer. I don't really have many of the details, and that's okay. All I know is that it's supposed to be really good. I'd recommend getting it. That's really all I can say on it, unfortunately. And another one that I had mentioned already in my last video is ARMS, or ARMS. That is another game, really good multiplayer, not so great single player, but there is still some single player content, it's kind of like the spiritual successor to Punch-Out, but against other players. And if that sounds at all interesting to you, check it out. It's got great graphics, great art style, and it looks like a lot of fun to play. It's one I haven't personally played, but it comes highly recommended. I've seen gameplay, I've seen playthroughs. Seems like it'd be a good time. And now you can't talk about the Switch without talking about the re-releases. This is a big thing, is all these games that were popular, they're like, okay, we're gonna put them on the fucking Switch so you can play them on the go. And some of it feels kind of like, really, come on. And some of it's actually like, fuck yeah, I'd love to play that on a mobile device. So to kick it off, we'll go with the obvious one. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. This was released on the Wii U. Very few people bought the Wii U, so they re-released it on the Switch. You can play it on the go. I've played it on the go. This game is just fun. It's probably my favorite Mario Kart that they've come out with since Mario Kart 64. Like, it really is like they've been refining the Mario Kart formula, and in this one, they really got it right. Like, it's just a ton of fun. There is single player content in here too. There's always like, you can race Grand Prix alone, whatever. So if you don't always have friends over to play it, it's still worth the purchase. You're still gonna have fun, and you can use that time to get good and then fucking school all those bitches. The next re-release that I would suggest would be the Doom game that came out recently. Now, I never got to play this game. I had meant to. It was on my list of huge fucking list of games that I gotta play. Never got around to this one, and now they're porting it over to the Switch. This game was really highly praised. Like, everybody who liked shooters seemed to love this game. It was done by id Software, or ID Software, who produced one of my favorite shooters ever, Rage, on the PS3. So already there, I'm like, I'm pretty interested, but I love the idea of being able to play a game like that on the Switch, on the go. So I would highly recommend getting this one when it comes out. It drops next month on the 11th, I think. Another game that I would recommend, just because it's so fucking weird that they're putting a version out on the Switch, would be L.A. Noire. This is a game by Rockstar. It's similar to Grand Theft Auto, but it's not a Grand Theft Auto game. You're like a detective, and it's like film noir, and hey, it has noir in the name. I'm Rob Noire. I mean, I gotta fucking play it, right? No, but seriously, it is a very like cerebral mind kind of game, and I always thought it looked interesting. I was never super like, oh, I gotta run out and play this one. But the fact that they're putting it on the Switch, I'm like, that's a really weird choice. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, I want to check it out. So if you've never played the game and it comes out and it's like a decent price, I'd recommend that one too, just for the experience, you know? Now, another re-release on the Switch that I would highly recommend is Rayman Legends. This is a game that was on the Wii U that I played. I don't own. I was meaning to buy it for myself, and then I found out there's a version on the Switch, and I'm like, even better. It's a really, really fun game. You can play it alone, you can play it with multiple people, and it's just a good time. I don't really know what else to say about it. It's a side-scrolling Rayman game. It's just fun. It really is just fun. So if you're looking to get a game, that one, it's another one that's not full price. It's like $40 in my currency. So when a normal game's like 70, like it's like half price. And it's a good time. It's a re-release, but you know you're going to enjoy it. Another game that I would recommend that I've never played, so it's a little bit of a hollow recommendation, is Stardew Valley. They just came out with it on the Switch. I have seen playthroughs, I've seen gameplay, I know what it's all about. It seems like a kind of game that would be a lot of fun to play on the go in like a mobile environment. It's a cool game, I do own it, I still haven't booted it up yet though, so I definitely recommend. Now another game that's coming out on the Switch that might be worth getting is Skyrim. Wouldn't you know it, they're putting it on another fucking system. Skyrim's a game that I had a lot of fun with. I beat it 100% before the DLC came out, and then I beat some of the DLC at a later point, but I never completed all of it. I own the like the definitive edition on the Xbox. I'll probably play it at some point. Maybe I'll do like a glitch run on the channel. I don't know. I'll figure something out at some point if I want to play it, but they're putting it out on the Switch, which when I first heard it, I'm like, really? Do we really need another fucking version of Skyrim? But it's another one of those games where it's like, that would be really cool to pop in on like a bus or public transit or on a long trip and just fucking play Skyrim for 6 hours. You know what I mean? It would be a good game for that. So it does feel kind of like, fucking really that they're doing another version of it. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, this would be a really fun platform to play it on, so I can't really hate on them for that. Like, they're obviously doing it to make money, but at the same time, it would be fun. And if you've never played it, it's probably going to be one of the best ways to play it. So I definitely recommend that one. And another game that they're releasing that I am actually really looking forward to is Rocket League on the Switch. It's supposed to be in 2018. I am so down. I played that game. I love that game. I've been meaning to play it on the channel. Never gotten around to it. It's just crazy fun. Really is. And playing it again on the go on the Switch would just be even better. Can't wait till that one drops. And so a few other really good games that you can get on the Switch that aren't really, they're not really re-releases, they're just kind of ports, would be Shovel Knight. I've already said I feel like the Switch is actually one of the smoothest controlling versions of Shovel Knight I've ever played. Would highly recommend. It's a lot of fun. There's Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time. That's a game, it's way better if you have multiple players, like so many games on the Switch, but it's just a good game. You should try it out. And then there's also Overcooked. I don't think the Switch version is the best version of Overcooked, but it is a very fun version, and being able to play it on the go makes it worth it, like pretty much all these games. So I would definitely recommend that one too. And that pretty much wraps up my list of good games out on the Switch. As I mentioned, a lot of them are multiplayer. Some of them are single player though, and there's quite a bit of goodness coming. You just gotta kind of wait a little bit. One thing I will add is 3 games that I really hope to see on the Switch, that maybe if I'm lucky, someday I'll get to play on it, because I feel like it would be the best platform to play these games on. First one would be a game that they have been saying will release on the Switch, but it's been since the Switch came out, and maybe one update since then. That game would be Yooka-Laylee. It's a platformer similar to Banjo-Kazooie. I did a full playthrough on the channel when it first came out. I think playing it on the Switch in that kind of platform experience, that would be the best way to play this game. The moment it drops, even though I already own it, I'm going to buy it. I just hope it does drop. I hope it does come out. It's been so long that I hope when it does come out, people still buy it and it does well. That's kind of the problem with having waited so long and having made all your fans who want it wait so long, is that you're losing steam, you know? It doesn't mean as much when it finally, for this kind of thing, but still, assuming it does come out, super psyched to play it. I'm sure it'll be fun, and I'm definitely going to do another 100% completion run. I probably won't put it on the channel, because I've already done a full playthrough of it, but just in my personal time, really looking forward to playing that one. Another game I'll mention that I really hope comes to the Switch that's very similar would be A Hat in Time. If you haven't heard of this game, it's an indie Kickstarter release very similar to Yooka-Laylee, and it's another 3D platform type experience, and it just looks like a lot of fun to play. Currently though, the only way you can play it as far as I know is on Steam, on PC, which for me, I'm like, a game that good, it's gonna have problems running on my computer, and I would just rather play that kind of thing on a console anyways. I know in their Kickstarter, they said they were going to try and get it onto the Wii U on the digital store at least. Now that the Wii U is obsolete, well, it was always kind of obsolete, but now that the Switch has kind of come in and knocked the Wii U to the side, I really hope they work on getting it put on the Switch. If they do, I'm sure they're gonna get a billion more sales, because this would be the best way to play a game like that. Same thing with Yooka-Laylee, that 3D platformer. I don't think you can beat the Switch for the platform to play a platformer on. No pun intended. So I really hope that game releases on the Switch. I haven't heard any news on it though, so I'm really just hoping. And finally, here's a pick for a game I'd love to see on the Switch that I have heard no news on. This is just me being like, hey, game people, fucking make this. And that would be a Katamari game on the Switch. If you're wondering why a Katamari game, it's another game where I'm thinking about it, I'm like, this would be the best fucking device to play a Katamari game on. Like, I've played it on the PS3, I've played the mobile game a bit. I was actually going to do an episode on it and I just wasn't really impressed. But I'm like, playing it on this, turning, driving like that, doing your fucking Prince hop like that, on the go. Hey, my Switch turned on. Doing all that on the Switch would, I feel like, and you could even like use tilt controls to, I don't know man, maybe I'm crazy, but I just feel like a Katamari game on the Switch would be fucking mind-blowing. The only thing is, it is a Namco game, and all the Katamari games have come out on PlayStation. I don't know what the rules are on that. So maybe it's something that would never happen, but hey, I would fucking love to see it. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much my video. Hopefully you found some good games in this. I'm really curious to know, if you're watching this video, what games are you looking forward to on the Switch, or that you really enjoy playing currently, and what games or game series would you love to see on the Switch? The same way I want to see Katamari, what would you want to see? Something crazy? I don't know, Final Fantasy, Skyrim, they're doing that, who knows? But yeah, I'm really curious on what other people think. So yeah, guys, thanks a lot for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed, and as always, I will see you in the next one. Hey guys, my name is Rob Noire, and I've got a special video for you today all about the Nintendo Switch. So I just picked one of these up earlier today. It was the boss of this fourth and final Divine Beast, which means I will have freed the 4 Divine Beasts, as Zelda said, and I'll be ready to fight Ganon.